Live from Radio Row, SportsGrid's coverage of Super Bowl 59 continues. Joe Lisi with Kevin Austin, a Saints wide receiver, former standout at Notre Dame. Kevin, give me your thoughts about just the atmosphere, because New Orleans is your city and what it represents for the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's a great representation. I mean, a lot of people are excited for this opportunity for it to be out here in the Super Bowl. I know from the city, so I'm just excited for it to be out here.
When you look at the matchup, right, we talk about history potentially being made with the three-peat for the Kansas City Chiefs, Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid, just dynamic in terms of these type of situations. And you have a hot team in terms of Philadelphia. This game went right down to the wire a couple of seasons ago. Yeah. How do you see this game transpiring and the outcome on Sunday?
I mean, it's going to be really difficult for both teams. Obviously, they're two of the best teams in the league right now, and so it's just my opinion, it's going to be really interesting. I think that they're going to get it done, the Chiefs, the three-peat.
Do you?
I mean, But at the same time, I mean, I just want to see history be rewritten in a way. So I definitely want to see that happen. But the Eagles are a really good team with a really great offense, really great defense. So it's definitely going to be hard for both teams.
I am curious to think that if Mahomes does get this three-peat and picks up his fourth Super Bowl title, how some of the younger players view Pat Mahomes compared to, say, Tom Brady, the GOAT.
Yeah, I know. That's going to be really interesting. Like, we always have, conversations, friends, group chats, whatever it may be, just because Patrick Mahomes is young, but he's doing so much already. So it's really interesting. I would love to see him get the three-peat for his own personal success, but I don't know, Tom Brady, and that's a hard name to try to beat when you're talking about the GOAT.
Right, but your team went up against the Philadelphia Eagles earlier in the year, and they struggled a little bit. That was a very low-scoring game. Jalen Hurts did have a couple of interceptions and turnovers in that battle. Saquon had the big run. That game really changed the complexity of the season, though. They got through that game, and after they beat the New Orleans Saints, they just went on a heater from that point on.
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree.
Anything that you saw from Jalen Hurts in the offense, what makes them so much difficult in terms of defending them when you just look at their playmakers, AJ, Devontae? Is it just that they have playmakers at every level?
Yeah, I'd definitely say so, especially, starting off with who you hand the ball to every single play. I mean, I would say, like, Saquon is a game record, so you need to focus on him, but you have a lot of other game records on the outside as well. So I would say, like, having such a good offense and having such a high, like, well-oiled machine offense, it's hard to stop.
When you look at your team's in the news as well, right?
Yes.
In terms of just looking at Dennis Allen, no longer the head coach, interim head coach. I told you, I know Darren Rizzi from playing against him in terms of high school, but the Riz had some attitude, right?
Yeah.
Your team really kicked it up a notch when Darren Rizzi was the interim head coach. What did he bring that organization, not just from a special teams perspective, but when he did take over the reins for Dennis Allen?
I would definitely say, like, he took over just the fighting aspect and bringing that to our kind of locker room in our room. And I know that he's for sure just someone that's a good leader of men, and just him standing up in front of us, talking to us every single day. I love Coach Rizzi just because of the way that he was doing that with everybody.
When you look at New Orleans as a whole, and it's Kellen Moore potentially could be your new head coach, and it's discussed potentially as a rebuild, do you and the players feel that as well, or do you feel like Dennis Allen didn't bring a lot to the table at that particular time and maybe just coached himself out?
I mean, I really don't want to speak towards Dennis Allen and kind of his situation, but for the most part, I would say, like, in terms of the rebuild, I don't think it's really a rebuild just because, like, we have a lot of really good players that just got injured, unfortunately. And so those injuries kind of took away from what we could do offensively and defensively. When those players are healthy, I feel like it's going to be like how we started off in the year.
You're a Notre Dame guy.
Yes.
And Marcus Freeman was inches, right? You could say, right? They were so close from winning a national championship. They went toe-to-toe, really battled in the second half. They give up the critical third down stop to Jeremiah Smith and Ohio State. But this was a magical season for Notre Dame. Any thoughts about the run that Marcus Freeman has had?
I'm just happy for him. I knew that was the type of person that he was, the type of coach that he was, that he can lead like that. And I'm just happy to see his success actually show proof, because he does a really great job just with just how he talks to young men and how he tries to lead young men. And so I would say, like, I'm just really happy and proud of how he's really been able to do this.
Always a pleasure talking to you. More from New Orleans right after this.